We have been chilling out with this dude for a week. His name's Finn. And he's very sleepy right now. It's been great. But it's time to get back to work. I just scared Chelsea. What a cutie. Cutie patootie. All caught up on sleep. I feel like a new person. Really changes a dude when you have a kid. Makes you realize what's important. And that's lure making. We're gonna roll back into things with my favorite bait. My favorite kind of bait. An offset hard body spinner bait is my favorite kind of bait. That was a horrible joke, by the way. Lure making is not more important than your kids. Oh, by the way, this is a 1 day, 10:44. We're backing off of noon. We're gonna get earlier and earlier. I'm gonna become more and more of a responsible person. All right, let's choose the wood for this bait. You want some wood that's heavy, so maple. Just gonna use maple. You want the, sorry, I just flipped you off. You want the bottom of this bait to sink hard. You're gonna have all of this resistance up here with the blade, and it's gonna pull backwards. My experience with these baits is that as you retrieve, if the body isn't heavy enough, it's gonna do this, and then you stop your retrieve and it straightens out and sinks again. You want it heavy enough to where it does none of this, so you do put a lot of weight in the belly of these baits. These are actually very simple style baits. If you want to get into lure making and have a lure work, I would suggest starting with this. It's not as simple as like a topwater popper, but it's doable. It's definitely doable with limited tools, hand tools. That's what I should have done. I need to do a 1 day with just hand tools, you know? Kind of overlooked my selection of wood here. I chose a part of that maple that has a knot in it right there. Hopefully that doesn't get in my way. This is pretty thick. I'll probably just cut that out. I'm gonna bring the thickness of wood right here down to where that knot is, I think. Now you can really see it. It ran lengthwise down that piece of wood. I don't know if that's a knot or just a piece of rotten something. It'll be carved out. All right. Those chamfer lines are marked out. I'm gonna leave this bait a flat-sided body. I'm not gonna teardrop it or taper the front and back. I should explain why. Because I want as much area in this body right here to put weight in. I want this to be a heavy piece right here. Well, it needs to be heavy. I'm talking really weird on my return to YouTube. On this bait, I want it to have big eye sockets. I'm going with 5/16 inch sockets. And I don't want it to just have big eye sockets. It's gonna have big eyes as well. But right now we're drilling out the eye sockets. So before I get much further, I need to make the line tie and the wire and the thing that's gonna hold the spinner. For that, I'm gonna use some stainless steel wire, lock wire actually. This stuff is extremely corrosion resistant. You can get it at like Harbor Freight, online, Amazon. Comes in a 1 pound little container like this, all coiled up. And it's not very rigid wire. It's not rigid at all, it's very flexible. It's actually made that way. But when you twist it together really tightly, then it's extremely rigid. And that's what I'm gonna do with it. As soon as I find all the stuff that I need. Dang it. I don't have all the stuff. I need to go to the store. I want to use a ball bearing swivel for the spinner on this bait. I got other swivels, but those just won't do. I'm gonna go to the store. I'll be right back. Okay, size 0 Eagle Claw ball bearing swivels. They work good. They come with a little quick change snap like that. I usually snip that off and replace it with a split ring. That shortens the distance that the blade sticks out. So we got our wire here, and we slip this swivel on before we start forming anything, so there's a direct connection to the end that the spinner will be connected to. So for the top section of the offset spinner wire, I just twist it by hand like this. Wow, I'm doing a really sloppy job here. Okay, let me redo that. If you have to redo it, you can. It's hot out here and my hands are sweaty. I have excuses, okay? Oh, that's ugly. Okay, I'm gonna redo this whole thing and get back to you guys. 1 sec. New wire, let's try that again. All right, that's a lot better. So now I put something in there that's an appropriate diameter, like that. And I bend this end down over it. Manipulate that however you need it. This is gonna be your line tie. You can take that out and then pinch the line tie in the vise upside down. And now these ends you can chuck up in your drill and twist like that. And it's a lot quicker, and usually it looks better than the hand done stuff down here. So that end is going to get glued into the body of this bait, and this is what the spinner comes off of, and that's where you tie your line to. Marking the holes, or I have to drill the pilot holes, you know. There will be 2 treble hooks on this bait. Treba hooks. I got my drill press vise out, and I got this bait put in it nice and tight. This is hard maple, so I don't know, I just felt the need to use this thing. I need to get new bits. These are garbage. Like, I don't think I've ever even used this bit before, and it was that crooked. And off camera, I worked on straightening this out for like 5 minutes, and it's just garbage. So I'm gonna use this dull one. So a very big lead hole towards the front is usually pretty desirable for this kind of bait. So we got that, and I'm gonna put one more back here that's not as big as this one. And that's gonna add probably over a ½ ounce, definitely over a ½ ounce, maybe 3/4 ounces of lead into the body of this bait. We'll see how accurate I am at guessing that, I don't know. When you think about like a ½ ounce jig head and the volume and the size, those 2 holes or more, maybe 3/4 ounce. We'll see. All right, lead pot's plugged in. Let's just see what this weighs before I put the lead in it. 0.2 ounce, so we'll put the lead in it and then see what it weighs to see how much lead we put in it. So I really quickly just glued the wire that I made in, because you can see that out of the back hole it sticks out, and I want to encase that in lead when I pour it, so might as well glue it in, right? Gotta wait for that to completely set up so when I tilt it, lead doesn't drip out. Just give it a sec, okay? Okay. After you're done doing something like this, wash your hands every time. No exceptions. Maybe up your arms a little bit too. You don't want lead on you when you go back in the house and dwell with your family. That would mean you're essentially poisonous. So wash yourself, people. 0.65. So it's less than ½ of an ounce, but that's plenty of lead to get this to run straight. Huh. I was way off. Because with just the wood it was 2. Oh, and I didn't even have the line tie on. So yeah. It's about how I judge the weight of the fish that I catch too. Now let's cover these lead holes, and let's just cover the lead holes. So just cleaning this off as much as I can, and I'm gonna seal this wood with super glue. It is all sealed. We're ready to paint. I think to continue with the simplicity of this bait, I'm gonna go with one of these. This one in particular, because it's black and I have a blade that will match this perfectly. That's gonna look really good. But step 1 is just to paint this whole thing black. Got a piece of the original blank right here and used it to mark out how much I need of the flashy stuff. I'm actually not sure if when I peel this off, the black on this will be on there still. We'll see. It's ready to go. Oh yeah, it is. Cool. It's gonna look great. Need heat. By the way, those tapes, I got them from a dude from Germany a long time ago. They're super nice, as you can see. You just apply heat. It really loosens and it just drapes over your work, and they look great. I don't know if he still sells these, but this is the card he gave me. That's the stuff. Good stuff. Painted the belly white. Now I just gotta glue the eyes in. I think I'm gonna tie a feather treble because Chelsea's kind of busy with the baby. I think I'm gonna go with a bright colored eye and a matching feather treble. I don't know what yet, we'll see. We're going with yellow. Okay, let's tie this treble hook. I got a bucktail. Lots of white on this one. I think white is going to be the main theme with a whole bunch of this flashy yellow stuff. Ooh, string just broke. I need to take it easy. I know this is not a very conventional way of doing this, but I'm not a tire. And I'm just trying to get this done. And don't worry, I know it's backwards. I'm going to fold it back over once I attach these a little bit. Why does it keep breaking? This is why I don't tie stuff. Impressive, huh? Alright, I'm just going to cut some of this and put it between each of the 3 grooves. You know what? I don't think this bait's gonna have a feathered treble hook. I just need Chelsea for that. And she's not here, so we can't have that. Let's get this bait clear coated. Oh, thank the Lord, Chelsea arrived to save the day. So I didn't know how to do feathers, but Chelsea knows how to cut them right. And we're gonna do yellow feathers like that, with still the yellowish greenish flashy stuff to match the eyes. It's only been a couple weeks, but even after that amount of time I feel rusty. There's the feather treble that Chelsea tied. Nice and yellow. A little bit of chartreuse. Okay, got the clear coat set up. Clear out these eyelets. Get the hooks installed. Got to make sure the bearing works. Yep. And this bait is done. The blade matches really well with the body. That looks good. Let's go see how it works. One day, let's catch a fish. Starting out at a pond today. All right, first cast. Beautiful. It runs great. Need to get the fish to agree. Oh. Had a fish after it. Dang it, that took a while too. It is 4 o'clock right now. See if we can get another bite. Okay, I need to try a different spot. See if we can pull something out of back here. Okay, I'm gonna try something different. We're gonna put a smaller blade on this bait. I'm going with a smaller blade because I think this Colorado blade, first of all, it's not really spinning that well. It's kind of getting off of its axis and doing a secondary rotation, I guess is what you'd call it. So I'm gonna go with I'm gonna cut a blade off of a Mepps because that's all I got right now. I'm gonna feel really bad doing that, but that's what I'm gonna do. And I'm gonna put it on this thing. Oh, that was painful. And then this ends up making no difference at all. Wouldn't that be cool? That should be a little better. Oh, that's way better. Way better. Now we're gonna catch some fish. Got one. Keep them down. Let's Make sure this fish gets in. What is that? Oh, it's a bass. It's official. Bass like spinner baits. I've been making a lot of things that are really obvious official lately. We'll have to change that. Let's catch some more. I'm glad I didn't ruin that Mepps for no reason now. It only took me like 5 minutes of fishing to get that bass after I changed the blade. I feel better about that now. I say we go to the river. 4:26. Caught that fish at like 4:15. Forgot to tell you guys the time. Let's go to the river. Let's see if they're awake here. Oh, something hit that hard. I was reaching for something in my pocket. Oh, it's a pike. Or no, it's a catfish. What the heck? Oh, I thought you were a pike. Dang. It's official. Channel cat like spinner baits. Sweet, I was not expecting that. They bite hard. That's gonna bleed for a while. But awesome catch. It was that rock right there. I casted way out there and I reeled my bait in and I let it drop right there behind that rock. And then I reached for a hot tamale in my pocket. And all of a sudden, boom, that channel cat took it. Got myself a new technique. Oh, another one. Same technique. I just let it sit there. That was the next cast. He's much smaller, but that's pretty cool that worked again. I found the catfish hole. My poor bait is getting destroyed in this river. I'm bouncing it off the rocks. Oh well. It's made to fish with. Huh, there must have only been 2 catfish in that spot. We got, what did we get? We got that bass at the pond. That took a while. That took like 40 minutes to get that bass to the pond. Then we went to the river and we spent a long time there before we got that channel cat. And then the next cast, we got another one in the same spot. Just letting the spinnerbait sink, get to the bottom, and then boom, they took it. But then I fished for another hour and I got nothing. So that's kind of weird. I don't know what to think about that, but apparently the channel cat were biting today, and that's what I got at the river, and that's it. Nevertheless, successful video again. Successful video. Gonna have some baits for sale soon. Keep an eye out for that. Otherwise, this video's over. On to the next bait.